Hey. How is everybody doing today? Kim, I know you're excited because I'm pretty excited. So what's going on your end of the world?
On my end of the world, oh, please,
Yes.
we're riding the wave. We're riding the, I don't know what wave it's on, but we're riding it. So yeah, all is good. The summer's happening. Lots of parties, lots of graduations. I'm almost partied out, but not yet. I can't be. We got a lot of special people to celebrate. So
Lots
having
of
fun.
Basically.
Lots of every time I turn around, I'm like, we got another party. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So it's all good. Fun. Summer's all about fun.
Fun. And then the fact that we're in July and last week, probably everybody was going to the fireworks, enjoying barbecues, and now it's dark at work. But anyways, that's all good. But that's why today I'm pretty excited about the topic we're going to have on our show.
Yeah.
Right. So, but before that, I forgot to say hello to all of you out there who've never been on a show, but we're the Momentum Tribe Mojo Show. I'm Zeph Zen, and that's whatever she is on your screen. That's Kim Cass,
right here.
AKA Miss Clarity Cam. So
Clarity Cam.
Webs, yes. And you want breakthroughs in your business, that's who you go to. So if you're brand new to the show and you're like, what in the world is the Momentum Tribe Mojo Show? Well, we focus on helping you create momentum. Why? Because you need to go from here to there. So you need to have some momentum, right? So we get you from where you are today to where you want to be. The most important thing is like, how do we do it, Kim? Oh, we have to take action, create action, take action, and then get results. Boom.
We go have a lot of fun, and we find a way to get it done. We don't eat raw meat. We don't eat raw meat. Even though we've got the military represented here, we're not going like do or die. We just have fun. We have more issues and tissues, more drama than a soap opera. Come on in. You'll be right. You'll be very welcome at home. And we just make our quirks work. That's really what Momentum Tribe is about. You got challenges, you got issues, you got problems. Put them into the mix. Create stepping stones. Or
hashtag more issues than tissues. Always remember that.
Kardashians got nothing on this, Kim. Let me tell you.
Anyways, folks, today we're doing this show entitled Veterans in Business Leadership After Transition. Why? Why this topic? Why not? Because you know what, folks, when it was July, I was like, you know what, we need to celebrate some of the veterans who are starting their own business or on this journey of creating this momentum. So before we get started, let me just have Kim do her quick intro and I'll be right back.
Oh, great, Steph. Leave it to me. Hi, everybody. I sure already know this is coming. But anyway, hi, guys. I'm Kim Kasparian, a.k.a. from Zeph, Clarity Kim. So what I do is I work with successful entrepreneurs and successful professionals in transition who desire to create breakthroughs in their life or business in 90 days. I'm like, get it done, do it fun, do it fast. Let's go. So that's what I do. And right now I'm doing a thing where I'm inviting people to apply to have a 30-minute free consult with me to talk about how between now and September, you can create a huge breakthrough in your business or your life. And we'll tell you about that more later. But back to Zeph.
You know what? One thing before I tell you guys what I do, probably some of you already know what I do, but if you're new to the show, I'll tell you in just a second. I'm proud of this woman right here. Before this, she was like going live, like, what do I do? Do I hold my phone like this? Do I hold my phone like this? And last week she was like,
where's the link? Yeah, where's
the link? Where do I look? And today she's like, I got the technology figured out, and she's been doing.
I'm a professional.
She's doing a lot more.
See how we roll.
Yeah. So you make sure you follow her, guys, on Success Genie on the Facebook page. So for some of you who don't know me, if you're brand new to me, I mostly people call me the 200 miles per hour entrepreneur because I talk fast, I do work fast, I'm always on the momentum track. But what I do is I really help overwhelmed experts and entrepreneurs who just are, I don't have time. I only have 24 hours a day, but I still have to go to bed, go to sleep, run my business, drive my kids to all the activities. So I teach you all to how to manage your time by by leveraging live videos to get you to your ideal clients, or most probably the better way I would say it this way, get your ideal clients to you. Because I started out networking and I was like, oh my God, I have to go to 20 events to meet 10 people. But you know what? Getting on live videos have helped me really grow my business faster. So I want to pay this forward, and I want to teach you all how to use live video strategies to get your ideal clients to you. Boom. That being said, so this episode, I'm really, really excited about this episode because we get to share this stage with two veterans who are starting to create their own momentum in their own world. And today's topic is veterans in business, leadership after transition. So I am pretty excited today. Our two guests are James Van Prooyen and Jeffrey Lodick. So where can you find them? They're, the best way right now is facebook.com/military podcast network. So both are retired from the U.S. Air Force after 20 years in the IT field, podcasters at the Military Podcast Network. So
and I just became a fan.
Yes, we all just became a fan. So you know what? I'm going to bring them on. I'm going to bring James first because I know James is already on screen, and I'm going to send Jeffrey the invitation to be on screen with us. Hey, James, how are you?
Hey. That was awesome. I love your all's energy. I mean, I said that when I first met you, and just met you, Kimberly, today. So I love it.
Yeah,
we're in the right place.
Yeah. We have Jeff in the house. Jeff and Zeph. There'll be a tongue twister for today.
Jeff and Zeph. Yes, Jeff and Zeph.
Anyways,
works for me.
Well, welcome to the show, guys. So, yeah, I'm not called 200 miles per hour entrepreneur for nothing. So buckle up, whatever you have to hold you down.
Just so you guys know, she's like this even when she's not on air. Sometimes I want to slap her. I'm like, you can't be happy all the time.
Anyways,
my pity party today, Zeph.
Anyways, guys,
and he didn't hear it, by the way.
What's that?
He didn't hear it, by the way. But Jeff, I just wanted to make sure everyone knew he was in the Army, because he would be pretty upset to know that you said that you. Well, he wouldn't be upset. He'd be upset at me for not making sure that was clear.
You
should have been in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force, proud Air Force.
We love all the branches of military. We salute you.
It's all right.
Yes.
There you go.
But welcome to the show. And I know, we all were connected through a mutual friend, Jen Nelson from Wine Antics. And I know, James, you were on her show recently on her live cast. So I love how this live streaming community, this is how it works. It's the networking. Yes. It's not only networking. Yes. In person, but you're not networking online. And having goosebumps, and also I have goosies because I meet people all around the world. And you know what? By next week, they're buddy with me because, you built this relationship. You show up, you are present for one another. But anyways, welcome to the show. And I know Kim is going to host the show today because I'm going to try to be quiet and manage our engagement on Facebook. But I'm still going to have a little chat. But I also want to welcome all of you folks out there on Facebook. Here's the deal. If you're out there on Facebook, be sure to drop in your comments because I'll be monitoring your comments or your questions should you have any. Or if you want to come in and chat with the guys right here in our live cast room, just go to momentumtribe.live and you'll be right in here with us. So welcome to the show. Thank you for watching and tuning in. And I'm going to put it over to Kim, wherever she is on the screen for you guys.
Right. Yes, where's Kim? Where's Waldo? All right. Yes. All right.
Oh my goodness.
First, let's just say thank you and welcome for being on the show. Mm-hmm. We're really excited to have you here. Because to meet you personally, and I'm just excited personally about what you guys are attempting to do and for the community that you're doing it for. So why don't we start with, we've already had a time to chat privately, but why don't we talk to the audience and our Momentum Tribe about a little bit about you individually, separately and then what made you guys to create, what prompted you or motivated you to start this podcast, coaching, mentorship community? Maybe we start with that.
Okay, I'll start real quick. So
yes.
I kind of fell into the military, which maybe sounds, I never had any aspirations of going into the service, just never thought about it. My older brother went in and I thought, okay, I'll go for 4 years and go bound. That's really how it started. And then once I started to really do things in the military, I absolutely fell in love with what I was doing. 20 years went really, but before I went in, I always had an interest in business. My grandfather was an electrician and they had a hotel. So I always really thought I would go back at some point and do business after. But the more I was in my career, I really kind of put that on the back burner and really didn't try to balance those two things. So when about a year before I decided to retire, I started networking in the business community in Tampa Bay because I knew no one in the business community. And I actually met a guy who founded what's called Tampa Bay Business Owners Organization, Chris Kremitzos. His wife, Katie Kremitzos, has a podcast called Biz Women Rocks that she started in 2014. So as I became involved in that business community and the podcast community, that's when I started to really hear people, these podcasts I was listening to, helping people, and really kind of seeing a lot of the gaps as I transitioned. And also meeting a person who had a network for what's called Horse Radio Network. Glenn, the Geek is what he's referred to it. And,
I love that
and
name.
I kind of started thinking,
gotta love that name.
If
you're on radio, you just gotta love that name.
But there were so many, topics that I thought of that would be good to have a podcast. And the other thing I liked is if we did a network, we could really help more. Like my passion was business, but I'm a veteran as well. So all these other issues I want to help with too. So, and I'll let Jeff kind of fill in a minute, because he's probably going to say, because we were a couple years apart. Like I retired in 2015 and he just retired. So, I was in his ear about a lot of this stuff, but go ahead, Jeff.
All right. So I'm Jeffrey Lodick. It's nice to meet you. You guys have a lot of energy, and I'm telling you, I appreciate you letting me come on the show. And I'm excited. I might just watch you guys just to do it. It's exciting. I'm ready. So, a lot of people talk about the next chapter and the next chapter. Well, I have too many chapters. I actually have books. My life has been adventurous. I've enjoyed the ride thus far. I joined the Army in '97, and I did a whole bunch of stuff. I'm a radio operator by trade. But anybody that knows me in the Army would know that I'm no technician. I'm not good at it. I've had a lot of leadership experience in the military, and that is the passion in which I developed while there. I love being able to take an individual who had the biggest problem in the world and let them sit down and talk to me and try to work through those problems with them. And I've been very pleased with the majority of the results. And as I was getting ready to retire, James was talking to me about podcasting, and I'll always refer to myself again as not being an IT guy. But when he talked about podcasting, I said, "What's a podcast? I don't even know what it is." And this is
that was me. That was me. And what's live streaming?
Yeah. What is it? Like November. This is November timeframe. So from November to January, we really went forward, and I really jumped on his coattails, because when I went through the transition program, being a senior guy, I thought there'd be a lot more help for me. And I don't mean it like because I should be helped, but if they're not helping me and where I'm the senior guy, then what are they doing to the guys that spent 4 years, 6 years, 12 years in the military that are going to be left to their own devices, and are they going to really succeed? So where I found that gap to be there, this show only made sense. James asked me, I think on a Tuesday, what I wanted to talk about. And I said, man, I don't know. On Thursday, I called him and said, it's going to be about leadership after transition. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to bring in folks to just be the real people with the real experiences. And I mean, that's me in a nutshell. I mean, there's a million other things I can tell you, but you don't have time on your show. And, it is what it is. But thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me be here.
You are so welcome.
Where'd the energy go? Yeah.
No.
Don't worry about the energy.
It's logistics now. Hold on. Okay. So, all right, hold on. So
we're simmering on the facts.
Yeah, I'm not the logistics queen. I'm like the energy people greeter. So I'm like, okay, what's the question? Where's my card? So, all right. So let me ask you this. So let me put it together. Welcome to my world, guys. We just let it roll. Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. Just show up and it'll all work out.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
God.
awesome.
Right. So it was a two felt intention. We always, on the Momentum Tribe, we say we don't focus on the how, we focus on the what, and we identify the why. Because the why will get you from try to making it happen. So you guys had a dual intention. One, you desire to grow a business around this, and you wanted to pass on the leadership skills and the support that you've been given or in your career. And also you recognize there was a void in the program. There were things that weren't being addressed, right?
Right.
Okay. So what made your mode of operandi, your vehicle, what made you guys choose of all the modalities that you could do, what made podcasting appeal to the both of you?
It might be differently. For me, it was one of those things which was, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a long time to actually wrap my head around, even though I thought this is too good of a thing to not do, as I was in these people that were podcasting and passionate about it. Because before I was in that, I knew what a podcast was, but I didn't know just everyday normal people. I viewed celebrities as doing it. So when I saw these regular people and them talking about how you know, this is becoming more popular, and, you know, the ease of use, and, you know, these niches are just all underserved. And as I started to listen and get so much value, that's where I just love, similar to live video, actually, because live video, I really started kind of falling in love with that community as well about the same time, going, you know, Periscope summits and stuff. And even though live streaming wasn't new, the ease of use of it, but it's just getting that, you know, video versus where you know, you can get this type of setting as well. But people in the end still, whether they're running or doing these other things or in their vehicle, just being able to listen and get so much self-development. I mean, I just thought it's a great vehicle to augment the other things that we're doing, get the message out to people. And as I told, you know, other people, it's like you can get it out to people who would never normally hear and get this stuff. It's a way to reach so many more people.
Awesome. I love that.
Can I just ask Jane something here, because I know you've come from an IT background, and I didn't know if that had anything to do with you deciding on podcasting. Because for me, I know when I decided to do live streaming, the first thing I said, if I did podcasting, nobody would understand my energy because they would not see my facial expression. They would not see my hands moving this way, right? So I needed to be on video. So therefore, I needed to find the vehicle, the right and ideal vehicle for who I am. So I wanted to know, like, other than that, knowing that ordinary people are also creating podcasts, because the technology has come a long way to allow us to do this, right? So is there anything else? Is it your IT background? Because here's the thing, many people, so for some of you who are still watching this, right, if you're considering podcasting, so here's the logistic queen talking about it a little bit, so pay attention. I'm just kidding. But setting up the technology is not always the easiest. Agree, guys? Because it's the audio. I mean, in live streaming, we can actually get away with, like, you know, less than, I wouldn't say less than audible, but less than high-end pro, mic, right? As long as we're clear, we can do that, but not with podcasting. And I know audio, oh my God, trying to do audio on my sound system is like, I want to wrap my hand around somebody's neck. So my question is, do you feel that your IT background has a little bit of that, you know, helping you in that direction of podcasting? That interest comes from there? Maybe.
Probably not, in a way. And it's funny that he said, I felt like I wasn't really an IT person even in that field. And I mean, now I realize I've got, you know, we've been so much training that it really has helped. But really, I would say, you know, there's still things that's in your head, like, you know, the how-tos, you know, even if people are saying, oh, it's easy, until you do it, it is a little bit of a learning curve. So you're going to have to. Hallelujah.
You know, I love that you just said that, because many people don't realize it.
But I would say it's the same also with, I mean, we don't like to hear our own voice. There's so many, you know, I'm like, do I say that? Do I, you know, I mean, you learn so many things, but then that's really why I love it after the fact, is it just helps you improve listening, you know, and asking better questions. And I mean, it's been just like even more than I thought it would be.
Awesome.
It's it definitely is a personal development journey and journey of self-esteem, and I call it getting over yourself. You know, it's not about you, it's about them.
So go ahead, Kim.
No. Do you want to? I get them confused. James, Jeff, do you want to chime in?
Jay
and Jay.
Jeff, what about you? What was your deciding factor on doing, podcasting? Because as you've experienced now, in the beginning, you're asking James, what is podcasting?
You're very right. I mean, we have a library down here by where I stay. It's the South Shore Regional Library, and they have a media center. They have their own booth. I mean, you do everything right there, right? And when we first started the idea, and James had told me about that place, I went and looked at it and realized that everything I needed, because I'm kind of cheap when it comes to, I don't want to buy a microphone. I don't want to buy $1 million worth of equipment because you don't need it. And exactly. So we go down there, we recorded some things, we had fun, we tested it, tried it. And when I realized that part was easy, I mean, the recording, recording's simple. Well, we've had some post production issues in the past, deleting things or not recording a whole entire interview or whatever the case may be. It happens.
Feel like the gremlin lives in your equipment by then, right?
Yes. But I live in that reality. Yes.
Yeah, but the fact that I can truly, I've got emails from people from California, from Hawaii, from New York. I mean, all over that have heard my podcast, and no other platform would have given me that opportunity. I mean, I can go on Facebook Live and talk to my friends that are on my friends list, right? And unless they share it, it's going to stay right there with my friends. But I mean, it offers, like you said, a vehicle to get your message out to whoever it is that just wants to press play while they're driving to work. It's great.
Absolutely.
I like that.
I like that too.
Podcasts were like freaked me out. Yeah. I did recordings for years. You put a podcast, you name it. Oh no, I can't. I can talk. I can record. That's it. All right. So another question we'd like to ask you is what are some of, like, you talked about topics, right? There are issues, right? I'm the queen of, and you guys in the Momentum Tribe know me. When I say more issues than tissues, some of you know my backstory. You know it's true. So I don't say that just to be funny. What are some of the issues that the veterans, past, present, future, and their families are experiencing that you guys feel that it's important to speak about or bring resources to? What are some of the topics that either you yourselves have experienced to share, and or that you feel it's really important to gather the resources to bring it to their attention? What are some of the hot topics that our veterans in transition are going through? What support is needed?
Jeff, you want to go first this time?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. So obviously with my podcast generally, right, is just talk about leadership, about my issues as I was transitioning. What I've found out, and I've learned so much in 6 months. I tell you, if I would have started this podcast 10 years ago, I would have been a hell of a leader, I believe. You know, I think I was a pretty decent leader, but what I've found by doing this is I'm asking questions that I should have and that leaders should be asking, you know, while they're younger soldiers and or airmen, whatever the case may be, as they're growing, because I've learned an awful lot. But what I found that now that's the intent behind why I started, just to give that leadership guidance when you get out. How are you going to take that and equate that to civilian employment, working with the civilian world that you can't relate to, because I find that to be a significant problem, right? But the amount of people that I've gotten, or that have gotten hold of me through this podcast, has changed a little bit of my point of view and the reasoning for what I do. I had a guy that rode 422 miles in his wheelchair from Angola, Indiana to Buffalo, New York, to bring awareness to the veteran suicide problem. He actually is an Army sergeant who got out, and he didn't commit suicide. He attempted to commit suicide. His family helped him. There was a songwriting with soldiers program that he found, all these things. And these are just two people, right? I found about 1 million other things. Mission 22, there's a doctor named Carrie Elk who's helping PTSD personnel. Just a lot of different things. So where you say, what are the problems and what can be solved? There's too many to answer. But what I would say is, you know, each show gives an opportunity for someone to hear something that might click, and whether it helps them get over the hump of employment or the thoughts of being alone or whatever the case may be. I think there's enough in it for everybody. And that's simply put my answer, right?
Well, and I think to kind of expound on that a little bit too, and some of the ones that are in the news, like there's a lot of stuff we want help with, the VA process, with people getting the benefits and knowing the benefits, and really connecting a lot of that world. Also, people getting out and being able to really, be marketable and know what, change from the lingo of the military into the civilian sector. I mean, that's a big need, of course. And then for veteran business, for people wanting to get in business, I mean, they're the same hurdles that other people have, but it's, there is a lot of resources, but there's never enough. So, those are some that come up to the top of my mind. And then the spouse community is a big one that, there's a lot more help for that community now, especially with spouses always leaving and having to pick up jobs and be kind of back while the other service member is away. So those are some issues that I think of right off the top of my head.
So when you guys say, how big of an issue, because some of our community, we're a very inclusive community, but we're not always an educated community. And I have family members who are career military people, and every generation in my family has served honorably. But I think it's different. As times, it's different. I was very close to my grandfather, who was a World War II vet, decorated. was shot up and in the hospital. But the community was different. It was like, they were welcomed. The community all welcomed up until that point. Everyone, it was like a transit. The whole world transitioned everybody home. Now that as the years go on, I don't think the community at large does that the way they did back then. What is the biggest issue that a veteran and their families deal with? What do you think is like the main issue when you've served your time honorably, you've been discharged, and that you're saying goodbye to one community, you're entering civilian life? And I know there's many issues, but what would you say if we had to chunk it up? What would be the common thread that every military person what's the passage that every military person has to go through or family has to go through when they go from military life to civilian life? And that might be a tough question. I know that's a large question.
Probably you both can share from your end of things, because it may be different for James and maybe different.
Because every family is different. Every family has a different family back home. Everyone's doing something different. But what if we had to say the main thread? Yeah. What would it be?
I think it's just adjustment, and I think that's the thing that I really realized. I mean, I've been probably 2 years. Like, I thought I would be able to transition well, just because I had so many things I did in the military, so many things I did before. But it's just the whole. It's a mindset, especially the more years you've done in. You're. I guess you have to be reprogrammed. You're programmed one way, even if you really realize it, and you think you're not as much. So I think it's just adjusting the whole family unit back to something totally different. And a lot of veterans, I think, devoid of that family community that they had, and maybe viewing the outside as, oh, they don't have that. There's nothing like that, which I would say for me, what's been nice is finding ones like the Tampa Bay Business Owners Organization, the Ragnar stuff we talked about before. So really finding other communities to become involved in. I think that those kind of things help that, but that's what I would say.
Okay.
Well, it's a caveat off what James is saying. I mean, you think about it, it's a complete cultural shock. I mean, it's a cultural difference. The military is a culture, period. I mean, so how we get things accomplished, the way we do things, the leadership characteristics we're taught, the values in which we hold, the training in which we've been through, you leave that and you go into a world that doesn't get that same stuff, yet we're supposed to instantly, reintegrate into a society that doesn't understand where we're coming from. And if you think about a military-minded individual where we're very proud and we're very, this is how we do things, I don't think we have to lose the leadership characteristics that we were taught. I don't think we have to lose the values. I think we have to be more receptive and open to reaching out to that civilian person, because it'd be really nice to say, in a work environment, because you and I, we all could have conversations, and it's just conversation because we're not trying to get things accomplished. When it comes to getting things accomplished, I feel that we want you to come to us. We want you to conform to our ideals and the way we should get things accomplished. But you've been in your world for the same amount of time I've been in my world. So why would I conform, or why would you conform to me? But if we didn't think that way and we just met each other halfway, or even if we had to take a couple extra steps, I think that things would be a little bit better. Now, I think that's probably one of the most significant things is that it's just a different world.
I think you each said something. We talk about mindset all the time on the Momentum Tribe. And if you're not liking what you're experiencing, you're having trouble, it's a mindset issue. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. But it is also a culture thing. I tell it all. That's my line. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Get back over here. It has to happen in like 15. Let's go. But also a culture thing. And that happened. And so let me kind of be that bridge for a second. In my career as a life coach and as a business coach, culture is a big thing. People go from corporate culture to running their own businesses and they lose their mind, right? They're like, I'll go to be them. I'll go into Afghanistan, but this is like freaking me out because they come from very similar to the military culture. There's an order, there's a process. Everyone stays in their lane. It's like a relay, right? You dominate the space. This is what you do. This is procedures for everything. There's resources. You pick up the phone. It's done for you. They come to my side of the fence. I'm like, oh yeah, there's none of that. You're it. What? You're this, you're that, you're everything. Like, let's do this. Let's spin on our head. It can be overwhelming. 2, if you put me, the Maverick, the John Wayne, in a corporate culture for too long, I love working with them. I don't want to live there. And they don't want me to live there because I'm a bull in a china shop. You know what I mean? I'll open my mouth. I will open my mouth and I will be right, but that's not how you do it. So it takes practice. It takes practice. And I think one of the nice things about military, because I have a very dear friend, we've known each other since we're high school, college. He was my puppy dog friend. I loved him. He was wonderful. He could just not get out of his way to save his life. And I'm like, Jamie, what is your issue? He went into the Navy. No, he was like he still is the best guy, but he'll say, Kim, you got me through college. You got me through everything. He joined the Navy. The structure, he came from a very wonderful, loving, dysfunctional Boston Catholic, Irish Catholic family. And I'm like, it made my family look sane. So that's saying something. So when he found the Navy and he just flourished. The structure, the goal setting, knowing what's expected. You follow this, you do it. He was awesome. And then he left, got married. She was tenured in Georgia. There's no Navy in Georgia. And it took him, now he's a school teacher and a high school coach. But I remember him leaving and he goes, Kim, I'm lost again. And I was like, well, why are you lost? He's like, I don't know what to do. I always knew I had something to do. I said, so I was like, Jamie, you're in the Army, Kim's Army. You know, what was boot camp like? Let's recreate the Navy for you in Georgia. And he did. And then he found, academia. Yeah. He found his fit and he's really good with the kids. He's great with the kids. And he made that, the reason why I'm bringing it up, because he made that successful transition. But I watched him struggle. Because, some people need structure. And that's leadership, right? Yep. Leadership is so. What is it that the Momentum, and welcome to the Momentum Tribe, and we encourage you to be a part of our Momentum Tribe, not just for the show, but we have wonderful people in this community. We want to network with you. We want to support you. What is it that we, as the Momentum Tribe, the listeners, the viewers, the members, what do you want us to know to help you grow?
Well, James? I guess for me is just to get to take a listen to a show and share it to someone who it would help, and just get the word out. I mean, that's as a thing we want to give value to as many people as we can, is just to and we're not the only ones, of course, doing that, but as we grow and as we get more voice out to these different things that we just talked about today. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, I love networking, so I'm so glad that.
How about you, Jeff?
But yeah, that's all.
Hey, so what you heard from James was, but it's okay. I knew what he meant.
Translate for us, Jeff. Translate for us.
You can translate that for us.
You got to watch that Star Trek. It's Klingon or something. I don't know. Anyway, so what I would tell you from your listeners, or from anybody, really, from you guys, just the support. And what I mean support is, pushing our message out, getting it out there so people can hear it, but interacting too. So I'm doing this myself, right? Just like any other entrepreneur would do it himself when they first start, or herself. I'm doing it alone. So when I bring on a guest, I bring on a guest for what I think my audience would like. I want people, and I've had, some good feedback here and there, but I want more people to reach out to me and say, hey, listen, I want someone that did this job in the military specifically. I want what they did when they transitioned, because I have a lot of people that aren't just IT based. I have guys that are logisticians, officers, enlisted, Navy, sailors, Marines. So getting just involved, back and forth communication, so we can make the show better, so it can feed and give you the information that you need and or want that can help somebody.
Okay. So, all right, I'm all about speak it, action, live it. So can you, either Zafy or one of you guys, wonderful, if you're near your computer, I think, Jeff, you're probably more closer to something. Can you type in or create a link, or Zeph, can we help them? Because this is not my forte.
So yeah, definitely I'll have all their links. So because when I actually close this out a little bit more, we will have all your information on screen. I just need an extra seat so that we can bring in your information later. But I just want to do a quick shout out to everybody who's joining us, who has joined us on Facebook, who are actually commenting right here on Facebook. Anna, Carlos, Michelle, Tina Valent, Jen Nelson, who is also a veteran herself, and she's doing great things with her live streaming and her shows. I want to say thank you all for tuning in, and be sure to check out the links that I'll post later, post the show, and also right here in the live cast. I think before we go, I just want to really ask each one of you, if there's one leadership skill that you would like to share with those who are making the same transition that you are going through right now, that would help them probably create the momentum they need to really get results in whatever they do, whether their business or whatever their journey is post transition, what would that be? I'll start with James.
I would say for me is just be clear on what you want and go after it and go. I would say definitely go at, wherever those groups of people are, or definitely go network and, be afraid to ask, which Jeff kind of said earlier. We don't always, it's not always easy to put yourself out there, but it's so worth it. So I think it's just in the same way, nobody's going to really hold your hand. You need to go after and just take some action. And it's, sometimes scary, but being a leader is even when it's the hard thing to do, you still do it anyway, because you need to do it. So that's what I would say.
Being a leader, you have to make the hard mistakes, right? And then just say, hey, I told you not to jump into that hole, but you sure did, because you needed to learn that journey, right?
That's right. He sounds like a genie. We got a military genie. Ask for what you want.
Ask for what you want. Boom, people.
There you go.
And what about you, Jeff? Leadership skill.
Communication.
Fun.
That's to me, that's the most important part of anything, is to communicate properly, effectively. James said, speak what you want, ask for what you want, all those good things, but understand what other person is talking back to you, understand what they want. It's just communication is a two-way street. If I'm dictating, I'm not communicating. If I'm listening, and we're going back and forth, then it's perfect. So communication, easy answer, right?
Boom! Give me a fist bump. Boom!
And you know what's really good though too? Owning who you are, because I have all my life I've learned and I've come to terms and I accept I am a benevolent dictator. So I am, and you know what? That if you just understand that, it all works fine in my little world. The rest of the world, I'm the genie. I'm everything. I'm wonderful. But in my little circle of the world, it's like, no, it's my way or the highway. And I'm okay with it. Are you okay with it? We'll get along great. If not, go make your own highway. But sometimes communicating with yourself and knowing who you are.
Right.
And I love what you just said. And part and parcel of what I heard you say was, part of communication is just not speak or talk. It's also listening. And sometimes we forget to do that. And I just want to say thank you to both of you for showing up today. Yes. For being here, for taking your time out of your busy schedule to be here. And I don't know what happened to James, but we kind of lost him because James is actually on the road. And the fact that he actually pulled his car over and go like,
literally pulled his car over
to this. Boom, I am on. I'm committed to doing this. This is what we're talking about, people, the leadership in all of us. And it's important to share this out, I think. Kim, you talk a lot about mindset. And this is why I think we at the Momentum Tribe talk a lot of about mindset, management, how that all comes together, marketing, because it all comes together, and we just need to know how they work together. And I commend you both for taking this transition to a higher level, because this is not always the easiest way to do, the easiest thing to do, but you actually made a commitment to do it, and you're doing it, Yes.
You're not just thinking about it. You're not just talking about it. You're doing it.
Yes. That's what we talk about, momentum and action. And that's what the Momentum Tribe is all about, because you can always just create action. But if you don't take the action, that's a totally different story. Then you're not going anywhere. James, I don't know if you're able to come back on screen, because I think you're frozen. You try to refresh. If not, we're just going to say goodbye. Do you want to try to come back? But any final words, Jeff, before you go, any final words to your community and people who are watching?
Well, to you first, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. I think this is amazing. And I'm glad the first time I got to meet both of you was through a camera, because I wouldn't have got the same effect on a phone. I'd have just thought you guys were yelling and stuff, and I wouldn't have known what y'all were doing. But I see it, and I'm thankful. This is great. This is a great environment to be in. I love it. But no, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I truly, anybody that want to link up with me, just please, by all means, hit me up with the links that they'll put up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We're gonna put we have your
James
Facebook
back.
page.
Yes.
Yay. Is that your main? Is he back?
Yes.
I don't see him yet. He's in the house. He's in the house.
Sorry if you can
is
hear
your
me.
Facebook?
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, James.
Hang on. Can you hear us, James? Oh, he's probably frozen. So you were saying, Kim? Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you're here.
If you can hear me, thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're
James.
welcome. You're welcome. So I know you're out on the road. I'm gonna make sure that we have your links up and all that stuff. I'm just gonna kind of bum you out real quickly, James, because you're not on screen really well. But I'm gonna share this information because Jeff is still here. So this is what we have for information. This topic was veterans in business leadership after transition. This is who they are. Get this onto your notepad, wherever. Connect with them. The easiest way to get to them are their emails. They're both right there. They have Twitter accounts. They have a Facebook page, and also their website. So that being said, I hope we've brought you all some conversations about why this topic is a great topic, and I thank you both for being here today. Thank you, Jeffrey, for being here today.
Thank you. It was really great having you.
Yes. Well, have a great day, Jeffrey. We'll see you soon.
Take care now. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, guys, this has been a great episode. This is the Independence Day month, and I thought, this conversation was apropos and good for this show. And if you're wondering where you can find us, you can join us live here Wednesdays at 11:30 a.m. New York time, 8:30 a.m. LA time, and 4:30 p.m. UK time at momentumtribe.live. Or you can also read more information about us at momentumtribe.com. What we're doing right now, we're in the process of building a premium membership for our group, because what happened is people want more from our community. People want to connect. People want to learn from one another. So we're giving away free premium membership till August 31st. Just go ahead to bit.ly/MT Premium to get more information and save your spot. And if you're wondering why you should be a part of this community, this is the information. Go to the website. The biggest part on this bullet point on the page that you're looking at is number 4, I think. Without your tribe, without your dream team, you can't really get to where you need to be. Right, Kim? Because I need my Kim.
I don't know where I would be without you guys. I'm telling you. I really, honestly, I don't think I'd be here.
Yeah.
Without my dream. Yeah. Without the people that helped me.
What I've learned from you, Kim, is the fact that you network. Network is great. But at the same time, that shiny pebble that you see in the water, pick the ones. They make your team, right? And they make up the dream team.
String your pearls.
Yes.
And make a necklace.
That's why she's wearing that today, people. Just trying to show you.
All of you guys are represented here.
Yes.
All my little pearls. I like turquoise. All my little turquoise.
So, but before I go, I just saw this. Michelle O'Neill on Facebook. She says, women issues in transitioning is a bit different too. Oh my God, that means another time, another day. We'll just have to get some women veterans in the show to join us in this conversation. All right.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So everybody, I just want to say thank you all for tuning in here. Wednesdays, momentumtribe.live. It's 11:30 a.m. New York time. Until we see you next time. Thank you from Zeph and Kim. We'll see you in the next show. Bye, everybody. Bye.